Hey everyone, Gary Simon of Corsetro, and today I got a good one for you. Back in 2010, I had this external hard drive that had about a decade worth of work that I had saved, client projects, my own projects, in terms of web design and stuff, and it stopped working. I could not get anything off it. I thought it was a lost cause. I threw it in a closet. And I decided to save it for some reason. But just recently, I was looking for an old Bitcoin wallet address. So I was going through hard drives trying to find it. I bought one Bitcoin back when it was 250 bucks, and of course now it's worth 7,000. I still haven't found it. Maybe I'll find it someday. But anyhow, I plugged in that old hard drive, which was, again, an external hard drive, and it worked. And so I spent a few hours going through these old projects I had forgotten about. And this work that dates back really for, I think back to like 1998, 1999, when I was just like a sophomore in high school. So a long time ago. So I thought it'd be really entertaining and also interesting to see what design was like back in those days. So I'm going to switch to my desktop. And this is one of my portfolios here. In reality, like, what is the actual size of this? Let me hit reset here. Yeah, this small, because the monitor resolutions back in the day were, very, very small or large in a sense. So I just have to kind of increase this by about 300%. So this right here, by the way, these little, you see these like little white marks like everywhere? You don't see it right here, but this is occurring because back then when you built a layout, you used HTML tables, and you also used like fireworks to splice up your design. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's not supposed to look like that. Anyhow, before I click on these little thumbnails, which is my work back then, I just look at this stuff right here. 4 years experience, professional design, HTML, Shockwave, which is Flash back then, MySQL, PHP, and JavaScript. Currently looking for a design job, obviously. This is like from 2001 or 2002. So I'm going to click on this first one here just to see what this is. And another portfolio here. I think these little circles are supposed to represent, like, you hover over them and it'll show you work or something. I don't know. It's just not the worst thing you've ever seen in your life, but this here is pretty bad. Another portfolio. This says picture portfolio right here. And then it has these weird thumbnails of myself. Like, who would want to click on that? Who wants to see that like weird, oh, I'm like staring you in the face? Just these random design elements are just, they're kind of funny. Let's go to another one here. Another portfolio, by the way. Back then, I didn't have much client work, so the way I got practice was just apparently to build a portfolio every month. I don't know. Yeah, skills, HTML, DHTML, just dynamic HTML, but you probably haven't heard of that. This says Java right here. No, I didn't have any Java experience. I probably meant JavaScript. MySQL, PHP, Visual Basic, 3, 4, and version 6, 5, and 6. So back then, there's Microsoft Visual Basic where you could program actual software, executables, desktop apps. But I wasn't creating anything that was usable. In fact, it was the opposite. I was making people's lives a living hell because I created AOL punters where you would boot people off. Basically, it would mass IM them, instant message them, and it would freeze their computer. And we all thought that was hilarious, apparently. There were other things like chat room scrollers and stuff we would make, but still a valuable experience in learning how to code. Experience, 6 years of computer experience for 7 hours a day. Every day. What was I thinking? This one's pretty old too. This is probably from 2000 or 1999. Again, experience, 5 years of computer experience for 7 hours a day, every day. I think I thought that was impressive because back then I was in high school, and you're at high school for a bulk of your day, and I was just proving I was a nerd because I'm still able to spend, I guess, 7 hours a day on a damn computer. Here's a clan website. I used to be huge into Quake 2 multiplayer. So this was a clan site. Some effing text here, blah, blah, blah. Random design elements everywhere. It's kind of interesting. What is that, like a cobweb right here? I'm not sure. Let's continue on. Oh God, this is real bad. Look at this logo with the inner glow and bevel. See, we all do it, unfortunately. I think back then it was a little bit more acceptable. coming off here. Let's see. Here's yet another portfolio. I think me and my friend, we combined our last names because we were going to work together. Back then also there was like a trend where you would just vertically center like this bar right here along with your navigation. And we thought that was cool, I guess. Look at this thing. Oh my God. It's looking like somebody, it's like puke color logo or something. Windows 2000 is out. Oh man, and we put the company name up here, I guess. That was just practice work or something. This one is actually not that bad. It's another portfolio, but it's unique. The colors, you know, they match up well. I think I outdid myself here. This says down here, if the links do not work, then you must update your browser to 4.0, like Internet Explorer. Good old IE. What is this? Oh God, this one's atrocious. My name is Gary Simon. I'm 16 years old and I live in Warren, Ohio. On average, I spend 7 hours a freaking day on the computer trying to better my skills and knowledge. My main interest with the computers is web development and making professional sites for companies. And then look at this navigation. It's like I created multiple copies and just like tried to make it really difficult for people to read. Oh man. This has boobs on it, so I'm not going to click that. I think this is based on the current layout, but there's actually a little bit of a structure here. It's not too bad. Here's another one. This is another portfolio. This features some of the work that you just saw. Let me increase this. Look at this. I got paid for this. Mass Transit Interactive. You can barely even read the type. You know, I didn't understand. What do you call contrast and all that back then. Yeah, look at this. Like it used to be real big practice to have splash pages. So you'd have to click on the logo in order to enter. I thought I was being cool here. It just looks like garbage, honestly. Look at this one. This is another portfolio. And I have like a baby. I have a baby on it. It's like, what the hell? Some type of like pedo or something? Anyhow. Oh yeah, this was another type of like a splash page to a portfolio. Back then it was really cool, like to create these little tiny interface elements, I guess. I don't know. It looks like somebody burned it. I thought that was cool. Here's another one. This is like 2005, so I kind of upgraded my Photoshop skills. You know, there's a lot of, you know, I think a little photo editing here I worked into the interface. Back then, I was kind of doing adult design, so there's like, you know, XXX key. I'm glad I got out of that. And then here's another one. My alias was Dreamake, by the way, and this is my little logo right here. Yeah. So you remember when I mentioned like the way we used to structure layouts? Well, let me show you something. This right here is a layout that I had brought into Fireworks. So the way it worked is you would design your website mockup in Photoshop exactly as it's supposed to appear in a browser. Not much has changed to that. Obviously, we're not using Photoshop much for that anymore, but still, the concept still applies. But where it differs is you would take this mockup and you would import it into like Adobe Fire. I forget if it was Adobe who owned that at that time. Maybe they did. Fireworks, and you would use a slice tool where you create slices based on how you think the layout should be structured. Then you would export it as HTML, and it would automatically slice up that mockup image into multiple images, and it would place those images into your HTML table structure. So you use tables back then, not divs or anything like that. So I thought that was just kind of interesting how that's significantly changed. I also have some Flash because Flash was huge back then. So I have 4 different Flash pieces to show you. This first one is a portfolio. This is in Flash. I have like little sounds. I'm not sure if you can hear that. So it took like 10 seconds to get to the point of actually being able to use the app. These kind of animations are actually pretty cool here. You click on home, you click on portfolio. We have this kind of sort of interesting deconstruction effect, which you can emulate, you know, today, like with Angular. But yeah, this is all Flash stuff. Also, the intro animations for Flash were huge back then. Here's one that I did for a company called Stop That Hacker. Not sure if you can hear that in the background. Oh my, I must have thought this was Matrix-like or something with these monitors. Once you click it, look how ugly this content area is. And then you try to scroll through it, you just hover it, and it just goes at warp speed. It's like the worst usability ever. What else? Here's a portfolio from 2005. Okay, Gary Simon, web developer portfolio. It's like going through at warp speed, like logo designs, I think. I had a thing for monitors, obviously, because here's another monitor. It's showing my skills in here, like PHP, Maya, 3D, Illustrator. Wow. Watch as you click on this. Ooh, it kind of like just glows and vaporizes into the air. Flash was fun back then, I have to admit. What else? Here's another animation that I did in 2005. This is for a friend's club that they opened up in Columbus, Ohio. This one's actually not that bad design-wise. And this is one of the things that people had to suffer through, an intro. We got a skank over here. We got our drinks. We got our lounge with friends picture. Yeah. All right, so that was a fun trip down memory lane. I could have shown you some of the work from like 2010 just to show you how I progressed, but I decided just to show you the absolute worst, just to show, you know, if you're new to UI design, you know, even if you have raw artistic talent, it takes a while to develop that eye for design, obviously. So the best advice I can give anybody walking away from this is, yeah, it just takes time and experience. Repetition is what's going to help you build an eye for design. Clearly, yeah, I had a lot of pitfalls there. Anyhow, make sure you check out Coursetro.com and subscribe here on YouTube. I'm basically going full time. I'm going to make a video about that pretty soon on the channel and also my site, which is exciting. So I'm going to have no other commitments, no other networks to produce courses for. So I'm excited about that. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.